Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome. I lost my chat. Hang on. I gotta find the chat. Welcome to SoulPet, everybody. It is a happy Monday, and somewhere I have lost my chat. I popped the chat out. There we go. Okay, gotcha. All right. Hello, hello. Welcome to SoulPet, everybody. It is great to see you. We are back for another Monday night with this beautiful, amazing community. I see everybody already commenting, so I can't wait to share some of those comments and answer a lot of questions. And tonight we're going to be talking about kind of a continuation of a theme that we've been talking about. But tonight it's more about uncomplicating things, simplifying, letting go of, I had a better word than simplifying, uncomplicating, overthinking. There's another word, I'll come up with it. But it's about our feeling of sometimes being not connected to our to our animal companions on the other side. So our soul pets on the other side, when we're feeling that we haven't seen the sign in a while, or we're not doing something right, or we're doing something wrong, and we try really hard, and that trying gets us nowhere. So I'm going to talk through some of that and explain some of the reasons behind it, and also a couple of tips, as always, about how you really can make that connection with your soul pet on the other side. And there's been some interesting questions that came up this week, and I see some already in the comments that I want to get to in just a moment. But first, if you are joining this channel for the very first time, my name is Elaine. You know me as the Animal Reiki Lady. I'm an Animal Reiki Master, an Animal Chaplain, an Animal Medium. I work with animals and their families as they approach end of life, and also after they cross to the other side. And it is that healing and coping with the loss of our beautiful soul pets that led me to create this channel. And this is a live stream. So every Monday I do a live stream, and we are here as a community. We come together, all of us, and we have conversation. And we post questions, and we talk about different topics. And we are all on a path, the same path of coping with the loss of a soul pet, but all on a different leg of that path, right? All on a different part of the journey. But we are here to support each other and to support you. So know that you are not alone. And we are here to virtually hug you wherever you happen to be on that journey. And feel free, if you are watching for the very first time, to share your soul pet's name. You'll see already some names in the comments below. Lisa Cox, I see you on this evening. If you would please remind me of your soul pet's name. I wrote your question down, but I didn't write the name. So I would appreciate that. But we talk back and forth, we talk real. We talk about real things and things going on in our lives and the way that we feel about the loss of our animal companions, and what we do to shift some of those feelings and to help understand that we are still connected, that our soul pets do not leave us ever. They're tethered to us for tethered together with us forever. And how do we see that? How do we find out? Besides taking my word for it, how do we find out? But first, I love to welcome my channel members, and I'm going to say hello to everybody. So if you are watching the live stream, you know the get to know you part is not your favorite thing, then just scroll ahead 5 minutes or so if you're watching it on the replay. So hello, Pat. It is great to have you here. Thank you, thank you. And Kali, good to see you. Lady Leoman, did I get that right? I hope so. And Magnificent Sales, I think that's Lauren. And Sherry, it's great to see you. Sherry, I have a couple things. Yeah, you know what, Sherry, I see that comment there that says, oh, Pat, don't give up. Pat, you would break my heart. We're going to talk about it in just a second. Please, please don't leave us. I take like the full responsibility for being the low-tech woman in the high-tech world. But we'll talk about it in just a second, because Pat's comments drop off for no reason that I'm aware of and no reason that I can track down. But anywho, we'll come back to that in just a minute, because I pray that you don't leave. That's like a YouTuber's, it's not greatest fear, but it's a thing that, especially because I don't know YouTube inside out. I just like press the go button and here I am. I would hate to lose anybody for a technical reason. So let's hope that we can keep you sticking around, Pat, because you ask great questions. All right, let's see, who else am I saying hello to? Sharon, hello, hello. And who else have I got? I already said hello to Kali. And I thought I saw some more folks down here. Hold on, Lady Leoman. Anne, hello, welcome, welcome. It's good to have you here. And then let's go back. Those are all my channel members. I think I hit so far. I'll say hello to more as you guys join on. But then for everybody else, I love to make this an inclusive environment. So even if you don't like pay the monthly membership fee, I love to say hello to you, Because I want you to know that you're welcome here and that everyone is welcome here. My beautiful channel members, you always get like the first of everything, and I do have some ideas coming up for you guys, like a Reiki for Pet session. That's for working with our animal companions here right now that might be currently with us. But anywho, we'll get to that in just a second. So Sarah, welcome, welcome. Lisa, hello, hello. Debbie, it is great to have you here. And when you get a minute, may I ask your opinion? Absolutely. Post a question. Go for it. I love to have the questions in the comments. It really gives us some good things to talk about. I sit down before each live stream, early in the day. I sit down, and if I don't already have some inspiration going on from our soul pets on the other side, I do a meditation and I ask for insight. But I trust that our animal companions are always out there working on your behalf. So if you've got questions, please ask them, because you're probably not, as a teacher would say, you're probably not the only one with that question, but you probably aren't the only one with that question. Z, hello, hello. It's good to see you. Cheryl, hello. Awesome. And I must have missed you guys the first time on the first go round through, on the first through of messages. Jane, it is very nice to meet you here. I'm reading your comment as I'm saying hello. It's been almost a year. You need a sign so bad. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the blocks. We're going to talk a little bit about blocks, is that we need it so bad, because we do, right? We really do. But there's a way around that, and I'm going to hopefully help us all through that. And Jody, hello, hello. Good to see you guys. I think I said hello. Oh, look at that. Cheryl trying to help figure out where the comments are going. You guys rock. I have to tell you, you guys rock. All right, you're awesome. So my team working behind the scenes. I don't have a team except for you guys. Okay, let's look at some of the questions, and then I'll bring up some things that I want to share with you, including a couple pictures from this weekend. Another pet psychic, this is from Pat, another pet psychic that you follow says that our grief holds our pets back from a complete transition. I want to be as kind and gentle with that thought as possible over time. So I have been doing this, practicing with, working with animals at end of life. We sat down this weekend with the class that I was doing, and we figured out it's been almost 12 years. And the part about connecting with pets on the other side and doing readings for them, that's probably been maybe the past 3 years that I really opened up about that. It's always been, but that I kind of came out of the closet about that. I know that over my experience over the past 12 years, I have shifted my beliefs in things. I had a certain understanding. I was taught certain things, which I am so thankful and grateful to all of my teachers. I've been to animal communication teachers, mediumship teachers, animal Reiki teachers. I continue to seek my own enlightenment and education. But 12 years ago, my perspective was much different than it is today. And over time, especially as I have been able to connect with your soul pets and my own soul pets on the other side, I have come to a completely different understanding about the role of grief. I used to say that grief held us back. Not so much our animal companions, but I used to share that grief held us down in such a dense place that our beautiful animal companions, who are now residing in a place of pure positive love, could never reach us. And that until we learned how to work through that grief, that we would never be able to connect with them. That's what I taught for the longest time. And I was taught by in particular, one of my animal communication medium teachers, taught me that it could take anywhere from 3 days to 2 weeks for the soul of an animal companion to truly transition. That's what I taught, and because I did not know any better, that's what I believed, and so it's also what I taught. Until I started to receive different information, not from humans, but from our animals, from the animals who crossed to the other side, my own Lucy being one of the big ones. I have learned that grief can be a block, our block. It's our block. Our animal companions are extensions of the divine, extensions of all that is, extension of source, extension of God, whatever that belief is for you, whatever that higher power is for you, holds our animals in such divine love that they could never be trapped between worlds. it doesn't happen. No matter how sad we get, our beautiful animal companions, as extensions of that divine one beautiful source of all things, they're here to help us rise out of that grief. And so I gently, respectfully don't concur with that particular point of view. I don't believe that they help us back that they're held back as a way to help us cope. I think they can actually help us cope really, really well from the other side. I believe that their love is so strong for us that it's able to overcome the depth of our despair and help rise us up. And if anybody else wants to share their own experience with that, I can only share with you my personal experience and the things that I have been shown. But I would love to hear anybody else's thoughts on that also. So I don't believe that, and I'm going to talk a little bit. We're not going to do the session tonight on my granddogs, my beautiful granddogs, Ellie and Dory. See, because I can't even speak the words a little bit right now. Crossed the Rainbow Bridge last night. And there's a lot that I want to share about that, because the depth of grief for my daughter is so strong as a mother. Give me a sec. It's so strong that as a mother, that's the last thing that I want to see. I've known those dogs, both doggies, their whole lives. Of course, my daughter, her whole life. And to see that depth of that sadness just really makes my heart fall to pieces. So I trust that Dory and Ellie in particular, that sweet girl, that she has a way to get through all of it, that she is already finding the path through. But that'll be next week. When the emotions settle down a little bit and everything's a little calmer, I can share the story about these two beautiful old ladies who lived a beautiful full life to the age of 15 and 16. And the trouble that they got into and the things that they did, and the very first sign that showed up the same within an hour of their transition. But we'll talk about that next Monday. Okay, so yeah, Pat already lost a comment. Man, I'm hoping we can figure that out for you. I truly am. I'm not gonna beat that one to death, but we are gonna try to get that squared away, because as far as I know, I have not ever seen anybody else say that their comments had disappeared, but not a lot of people. Pat, you're usually the only one that does advanced comments. So that post things ahead of time, which are great because it gives me something to start with. But okay, we'll see from there. Kali says, I was driving home from work thinking about my walks with Gary and Potato, which reminds me, I have a picture to show you about Gary and Potato, and I am finally got myself back on the short video wagon, and I did a couple of shorts just by pressing the record button, because that's the only way to do it, right? When you're procrastinating and you've got a to-do list that's a mile long, sometimes you just got to do it. So the next one is, I've got on tap Gary Potato, Pockets, and Benny, and then we'll keep on going from there. So for those of you who are unaware, my beautiful channel members, because we hit a milestone in viewership, which I would hate to even lose one, we hit a milestone in viewers, so they all get a little special video posted about their animal companion. So how after they crossed, I'd find feathers. I have feathers everywhere, by the way. That's one of the signs I get all the time from all of your animal companions. They show me feathers all the time. I've got one right in my line of vision. I've got 2 vases full of feathers. I've got a stack of feathers over there. I have a box full of feathers. I don't think it's right here where I'm at, but I've got a box full of feathers also. So I love that all of your animal companions send me feathers too. I got home, and as I walked up my steps, a blue jay feather was right on the step. There you go. That's them. Feathers are an easy way for them to get through. We're not going to be talking specifically about the types of signs that we've received tonight, more about how you can get out of your own way in receiving signs and messages. And I'm going to just pass right over Pat's comment because it makes me want to cry. Okay, Sherry, thank you. Yep. All right. May join a little late tonight. Your current dogs need their walk or they pout and pester. Yep. Gypsy, same thing. It's dinner time for Gypsy, so she's already been fed her dinner, and she's resting comfortably on the couch right now out in the living room. I get frustrated because sometimes I feel my Sophie is near, but I just can't seem to get any signs. Okay, we're going to try as hard as I might. So I try to ease up. That's going to be one of the secrets. Watch another person's YouTube, and they say, no, it's not that it's that it's so simple, anyone can do it. Debbie, really, that is also part of the issue that we're going to talk about tonight. Is when somebody tells us, I mean, it's so easy. Everybody can do it. Everybody's capable of receiving signs. Everybody's capable of communicating with their animal companion, whether it's here or on the other side. Everybody can do this. We've all got these wonderful gifts and abilities. We just don't know how to use them. And it's frustrating to hear those things when you're the one that's not getting the signs, or you're the one who feels like you're the only person born on the planet who doesn't get that gift. So we're going to try to work through some of that. Don't stress over that at all. I am going to help you through that, because you can do it, and everybody truly can do it. We're just not taught how. And more than that, we are conditioned from the time we are little, not only that we can't, we're not even taught it at all, that it's a possibility. It's like poo-pooed. It's not even a thing. So I will help work you through that. There's Sharon. All right, another cheer for Pat. We love you, Pat. Let's see what else we got. Kali, that was a great sign. Yep. Hello to everybody as well. I'm going to skip over that stuff. It was the sign I needed when you needed it. Fantastic. That's usually when it happens too. When you really need it, they come through for us. Let's see what else. Also had a funny video pop up, made you laugh because it was a video of a potato recipe and they said potato loves you. Of course that is a sign. It couldn't be any clearer. When we get signs like that, that's what I call a neon sign. It can't be any more obvious that that is a sign. Sometimes when you look outside and you see a rainbow and you go, wow, that's a beautiful rainbow. I would really love, it's nice, it would be lovely if that was a sign from my Winston. But we're not, there's always that little seed of like, it's probably just a coincidence because we just had a thunderstorm. But when you get a sign like that, there's no mistaking it. Noticed a lot of changes in YouTube lately. Yeah, I will have to figure all that out. I'm going to keep on scrolling. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Thank you, Kali. I appreciate that. What I want to know is what are all the new little symbols that are next to everybody's name? There's like a little symbol there. I don't know what that is. So that must even be new. This little symbol. Everybody's saying hi to Lady L. Sterling, and he was a Cushional. I don't think, maybe in your email you didn't, or your comment you didn't post his name. So Sterling is Lisa's. I'm going to get to my thoughts about Sterling in just a moment. We have all had the same doubts and questions. Thank you, Kali, for reassuring that, because we have all had the same doubts, myself included, 100%. I promise you, when I started receiving messages from animals on the other side, I thought I was making it all up. I thought it was all in my head. I thought that, I don't know what I thought. I just didn't think that it was real until it was real. And the way that it got validated for me was finally opening my mouth and sharing with people what I was receiving from their animal companion, and it was validated. Pat's Logan being one of the very first that was so clear and so apparent that that they have messages to share with us, and they're looking for people to share those messages until they can get through to you to know that they can share those messages directly with you. Z, where can we see those special videos of our pets? Z, I haven't done Pockets yet. Gary and Potato is, but Pockets is still in the works. Because it does take a little bit of extra. Like when you press the button to record for a short video, it's easy for me to, just like this, to talk to the camera and share my thoughts. But when I want to put in their pictures and little comments and their names like Mew Mew, if you click the tab that says Shorts, you'll be able to see it. But I will let you know in advance so that you'll be able to see it. Is a paw print symbol? Is it a paw print symbol, Elaine? No, it's not a paw print symbol. It's a funny little. Now they're gone. I couldn't even begin to tell you what the heck is going on then. It always was the paw. It was a funny little. It looked like a Chinese cartouche, like a little kanji. That's like a. Who knows? I don't know. The aliens have landed and YouTube is connected to them. Z. We should do an episode on aliens. We absolutely should. We had a running joke in our family about my husband being an alien because he said it. We were all talking, I don't know how we got on the subject of aliens. We were talking about aliens one day, and it was myself or my daughter, I don't remember, said something to the extent of, well, you know, there are people who say that the aliens are walking among us, we just don't know it. And my husband went, hello. So we were like, yep, Dad, you're the alien, that's for sure. Okay, well, Lisa, you are so welcome. I'm glad that I can help. So I am going to just move these comments a little bit and begin to look at my notes. So the first thing that I want to show you, one of the things that prompted this topic about how to simplify and not overcomplicate things, and whatever the word is that I'm looking for, simplify, not overcomplicate things, no efforting. That's a Abraham Hicks word. Oh, decluttering. Yeah, who knows. But anyway, one of the reasons was that this past weekend was a stressful one for me in terms of my to-do list. So Sherry, I saw that you posted a comment that sometimes you just can't get away from the to-do list. It makes you feel guilty to know that you have a to-do list, and that before you do anything that might be like the fun part of your life, you've got to accomplish the things on your list. I would like to suggest that if we don't start doing some of the things that we are meant to do, our animal companions are going to find a way to smack us upside the head. That they want us to know, one of their key messages that comes through loud and clear every time is that we need to start saying yes to ourselves, to putting ourselves first. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I don't mean that in a conceited way. I don't mean, you know, at the sake of everybody else in your life. I mean, at some point, we need to say that the things that are important to us take precedence. And when we do that, I find that my to-do list shifts. All of a sudden, things that I thought I'd never get done are just done. Or the list that I thought was intimidating a week ago, I look at today and go, oh gosh, I can knock off today. X, duck, duck, duck. And I think when we take the time to have a different perspective about what is required of us, that we can shift the way that works. I'm looking at, I might not see a comment. I see a blows low Joe. I know you want an answer from Elaine. There's no pain for them when they cross. I must have missed a comment somewhere, which happens because they scroll past really fast. I try to catch them all, but I don't always catch them all. Do they feel pain when they cross? We will talk about that in more depth next week when I talk about the passing of Ellie and Dory. Ellie was 16, Dory 15. They do not feel pain when they cross. They are instantly scooped. That's the word I use. They're instantly scooped up by angels. I was explaining last week that I have this beautiful painting in mind that I can't wait to bring into my experience. I have a wonderful artist who has done this painting of a guardian angel, and she's rowing a boat, and it's a beautiful nature scene, and all the beautiful animal souls are joining her in the boat as she's rowing the boat. And it has nothing to do with their physical body. Their physical body may be going through an experience here, but their soul has already been collected by these beautiful guardian angels. And without getting too hairy-fairy, which we often do, without going too far down the rabbit hole, for those who are not familiar with this kind of the depth that we go to in our spirituality talks, part of us that resides on the other side also is there to greet them. We're there to hug them. We take them out of their physical bodies before they experience any pain. Do I have a way to prove that? I do not. I have no way to prove it. What I would suggest is that you sit in a quiet space, and whether it's dwelling on a photo, or if you've got a collar from your animal companion, or perhaps you've got a little memorial thing such as a collar or a paw print, and you hold it and you sit there in quiet contemplation. It's one of the things we rarely give ourselves permission to do, again, because of all those to-do lists. We have so much to do that we think we don't have time just to take that quiet moment. And I think you guys know, you've heard me say it 100 times, a million times, that I say to my beautiful animal companions that nothing at this moment in time is more important than me understanding where you are, what you're up to, how this works. So please help me to understand. And I sit there quietly and I let the thoughts flow into my mind. They'll place thoughts into your mind, and you'll get a better understanding that they experience no pain. But that is for each of us on our journey. Okay. Okay, I see all kinds of comments scrolling by, so we'll have to see if I can get back to them. So we're going to talk about uncomplicating things and how to keep it simple. I want to share with you how busy my weekend was. On Saturday, I did a Reiki class. I did an in-person Reiki for Pets class. So it was just for pet parents. It was at the little local crystal metaphysical shop that I go to. And we met on Saturday morning, and I taught them how to share Reiki and how to actually be more connected with their animal companion who's here with them now. And then on Sunday, or was that Sunday? That was Sunday. Anyway, we had a grief support circle. We had the Reiki for Pets class. We had a Reiki Master class. I taught a group of students who were at the master level of studying Reiki, how to become Reiki Masters. And then on Sunday, my two grand fur babies, who transitioned to the other side. So it was a hectic, busy weekend. So Monday rolls around, and here it is Monday. I've also moved into a new place, as most of you know. It's not quite there yet. Don't have it all quite set up yet, but every day I do something, a little bit every day to get myself more settled. So Monday rolls around, and frankly, I'm tired. I'm just tired. And it's Monday afternoon, and I have not put out the live stream yet. I try to get it out early morning. I try to get it out mid-morning or by like lunchtime, so that everybody is aware that it's happening. The little newsletter that I create every Monday afternoon. I've got nothing together because I'm tired. And all I would, if I had my choice, the way that I was thinking about it, 2 o'clock this afternoon, I would have just loved to like sit down with a glass of wine and just sit down and do absolutely nothing is what I wanted to do. And it made me think that we all do this. We all go through this. So the experience that I share with you about my particular weekend, it's not different than anybody else's. I mean, maybe I do some different things, as we all do, but we all get to that place sometimes where we're just tired. And I think it is that sense of being exhausted, tired, just not feeling all the good energy that we love to normally feel, that also kind of holds us back from being able to see the signs and feel the connection. That's really what we want. Those signs are a way for us to help us feel the connection. We want to feel that we are still connected to our soul pets on the other side. But these are the lives that we have crafted. We truly have crafted these lives. It doesn't matter good, bad, or indifferent. There's nobody making you do the things that you are choosing to do. Even, I mean, there may be like laws and obligations and jobs, but in the end, I could have had a choice tonight to sit down with a glass of wine and do absolutely nothing, but I chose, well, of course, because I never would. Not for my Mondays when I get together and hang out with you guys. But before we go any further about overthinking and how we can simplify things so that we can receive messages, I want to share a couple things with you guys. So I want to show you this weekend. I took a couple pictures. I still have them on my cell phone. I have not had a chance to post them yet, and I will post them. Including whoever posted, I don't know who it was, posted about the pink bus. Remind me who you are if you are on the video tonight that sent me the picture of the pink bus, because I haven't had a chance to post that yet. Where are you, little? I wanted to show you. Oh boy, there's pictures of Ellie and Dory. I want to show you pictures from the Reiki class so you can see what that looks like in person. So if anybody ever wants to like hop on a plane and come fly to a Reiki class, I'm going to show you what that looked like. Yeah, okay, so nobody's cooperating tonight with the pictures of my Reiki class. Seriously? I thought I had all this ready for you guys. Oh, here we go. Here we go. That's not a good one. Where's all? Okay, forget the Reiki class then. It does not want me to show you that we teach with stuffed animals, all for the Reiki class. So yeah, it's just not a good picture. So let's continue. Here's what I really want to show you guys. This is in particular, there's something for Kali. This was the grief support class. So for the grief support class, what I asked all you guys, and all the channel members, and then there was other people who chimed in as well, that if you wanted me to share your animal companion's name in our grief circle and have you held, I would. And we were doing a signs and messages class. It was this past weekend. We did signs and messages for pets on the other side, and it was people in my local area who came together who are going through all kinds of. It was not just for pets, actually. It was for anybody who's lost a soulmate, a person, a family member. We come together in this grief circle once a month. And I asked for everybody to please share the name of their animal companion if they would like me to hold them during this grief support circle. So we had already started doing this. All the people who attended picked up somebody's name. I wrote them all on a piece of sage paper, and then we had a little burn bowl, a little like effigy bowl, and we lit everybody's name and placed it into the bowl, and all the little smoke came up. It was just really, really, really cool. And what was so cool about it was that everybody in the class had never heard of this YouTube channel before. They did not know who any of your animal companions were, and they couldn't wait to be the person who got to pick the name of the, like, Jeeves and Gary and Potato, Nellie, there was Pockets, and there was, we did all of your names were on this. But so I forgot to take a picture when all the names, before they started to burn, but I just wanted to show you this beautiful little altar that we had. I can't tell if you can see this or not. My camera wants to follow my face and not my camera. So I think you can see it, but it was a little table that we had in the center of the group, and I had everybody's name on a little piece of paper, and you'll see the little burn bowl there in the middle. And then we took all of those names, and with love and care and peace, we took each one, placed it in the bowl, and they just floated off into this beautiful little, it was smoke and colorful. Oh, it was so colorful. But I have to show you this. It's hysterical. You probably, I don't know how well you can see this, Kali, but that there was one piece of paper that was so stubborn. This piece of paper right here was being so stubborn it wouldn't burn. Can you see the G? It was Gary's little piece of paper. Just would not ignite. We finally did, and then it was so colorful. It lit up into all these beautiful colors, and we were like, wow, Gary had to put on a show. So I will do that. I'm doing that class again next month. It's not a class. It's a grief support circle. And I'm doing it on April 22nd, I want to say. Yeah, April 22nd will be our next one. So if you would still like to have your animal companion's name included, I would be more than happy to, because really the people who were there because they were feeling a depth of grief for the loss of a person, several people who had recently lost their spouse, they were so... It helped them to work through some of their grief, to be able to go to that table and pick up the name of a beautiful animal and place it in that little altar. It was amazing to watch. It was amazing to watch. Okay, that is so Gary, big energy, big person. That's him. Yep, he absolutely was. It was amusing because we could not get his name to light. All right, so. Let's talk about, was there anything else I wanted to share about that? I don't think so. Okay. I did want to answer Lisa's question quickly because it's off topic of what we were talking about, and has something to do with the pain. So just like whoever had the question about whether their animal dies in pain or not, and they do not, Lisa's question was, why did her doggie, Sterling, I believe, right? Why did her doggie choose to die in the pool? Now, a question like that, that's going to hurt some people's hearts when they hear a question like that, because we right away go to the visual of what that must have been like. And I do remember that. I seem to remember that question because, well, it's not the only time that I have dealt with a situation like that where an animal companion has chose to leave in that way. It's the same as wildlife that might be hit by a car in the road. I often question why do they choose that? Because I do believe that all animals are sentient beings. This is a belief that goes deep, deep inside me, that I unequivocally know that every single animal has a soul, and every single animal is a sentient being, which means they're aware. They know who they are. They're very well aware. They have a life. They've chosen this life. They choose the life to be with us. but they also choose the way in which they leave. Their transition is not up to us. Their transition happens sometimes by circumstance. I'm going to try to explain this in the gentlest way that I can. Their transition sometimes happens by circumstance. So a circumstance presents itself at the time that they are ready to transition. And so they take advantage of that circumstance. However, keep in mind what I said about animals not being in pain. It is the same thing. Even if our animal companion experiences a trauma, the trauma is ours. If we see a traumatic situation, I think I've shared before about I have a beautiful friend who accidentally hit her own dog. Again, not to hurt your hearts, not to hurt your hearts at all, but her beautiful doggie and your beautiful doggie, all of your beautiful animal companions, they leave their body before that happens. They are not present for the trauma. I also want you to think of wildlife. When we think of animals in the wild, like a lion and an antelope, we see all these National Geographic shows that show us the gory final moment. The animal's not present then. Their soul has already been lifted to heaven. We've talked about times before that, and I'm using a biblical reference, not for any religious reason, but just because it's a really valid reference, that God knows where all the animals are, every single animal, and takes care of every single one. Every single animal. Can you imagine that? We can't even wrap our minds around that. Can you think of every single bird, every caterpillar, every scorpion, every dog, every cat, every horse, every cow, every lion, every elephant, every snake, every single living thing, the divine, the universe, all that is, source, knows exactly where they are and cares for each and every one. And that includes people too. That includes people too. That's why there's near-death experiences, but it includes people too. They're cared for. And I just want you to take it one step further. We're not the only planet with life in this amazing universe. This universe goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. The stars go on forever. We can't even begin to fathom the number of galaxies and universes and stars. And I don't know that we can even fathom the number of universes that might be out there. And the creator of it all has a pretty good grip on that. So please know that your animal companion didn't suffer. And whatever they have been through, they've helped us to become better people. I truly, and to live better lives. I truly believe that. Okay, let's continue. I've got to pay attention to time here because I've been talking for a while. And I need a drink of water. Lady L says, we adopted a mother cat and her 4 kittens after we were told the black ones would be put to sleep. We lost Mama Jazz on 13th September 2025. That is something else that has shifted just real super quick. I have to say this. I think the respect for animal life has changed. When I think back to when I was a little girl and the way that my grandfather would talk about kittens, and he didn't mean it in a mean way, but it was like if the cat was going to have kittens, they weren't going to keep the kittens, to put it that way. I think that's changed. I think it really, really has shifted. And that was back in a time before there were all of these beautiful cat rescues, and before the spay and neuter programs, and before dog rescues and sanctuaries. So I think that really has shifted over time. So how do we get to this part where we can see the signs? Some of the questions that come up for me whenever I post these little videos. This came up even in the video that I posted earlier today. Why can't I feel my pet? Why haven't I seen a sign? Why do I see everybody else saying they get beautiful signs and I haven't gotten my sign? What am I doing wrong? What's wrong with me that I'm not getting the sign or I'm not getting the message and I can't even feel my animal companion? Those questions, I understand them, 100% understand them. Sometimes it's those questions though that also kind of make a little roadblock, just a little one, a little speed bump in the road to getting the connection that we want. I think part of it is because we try too hard. We really do try too hard. I remember I've shared this story many times, and this is when I was trying to just do animal communication. Whew, it's really warm in here all of a sudden. I don't even have a lot of lights on or anything. Anywho, when I was trying to do animal communication with Jack, and I would sit him on the bed, and I would stare at him. He was a yellow lab, and I would sit him on the bed and stare really hard at him, and I'd be like, I'd be thinking about telepathy, like, send me a message, send me a message. I'd be thinking all these thoughts in my head, like, talk to me, talk to me. What is it you can say? I know that we can communicate. I'm supposed to have the gift. We all have the gift. Why can't I hear anything? What the heck is going on? You're not saying anything to me. I think that was part of the problem. And then the look on Jack's face was like, I don't know what's expected of me here. Mommy, what are you doing? I don't know what's going on. But when I let go of the need to be able to communicate with Jack, that's when I started to receive the messages. So when I stopped trying so hard, when I let go of the need, and when I kind of just let it happen, is when it happened. When I stopped chasing it, and when I stopped pushing so hard, that's when it really started to happen. But then, you start feeling left out. So we try too hard. We're feeling left out. We want them to stay with us. We feel that maybe, what if we can never be connected again? These are some of the fears that come up. More than anything, I think the fear can be something that gets in our way also. And then we second guess. We second guess because what we want is the neon sign. We want the big neon sign. We want the airplane flying across the sky that has their name being dragged back behind it. We want the song about the potato to come on, or the recipe about potatoes to come on the TV, and at the end for it to say, "Potato loves me." That's the thing, but sometimes the signs are subtle. And this is a topic for another night, about how our animal companions have been learning on the other side as much as we have. We've been learning to receive, they've been learning to give. And we're both learning these things together. Sometimes the signs are subtle, especially in the beginning. The signs are very gentle and very soft. And that's where the grief comes in, because we're so sad that we miss the subtle cues. We miss the subtle signs. Or we write them off. Like we're going to be laying in bed crying, and we hear what we think is the little click of their nails on the floor, but we disregard it because we believe that it's in our head. That's because of our grief. We're making it up that we just heard their little nails on the floor, and don't we wish that we heard their nails clicking on the floor when that really was them clicking their nails on the floor. A lot of times the sign that they are going to give is a feeling. They want us not to be sad, and they want to help us get past the depth of grief. There's nothing wrong with grief, I promise you. As I started to cry earlier in the video, the emotions are there because we're human. We have these emotions. These emotions are part of our experience. We just don't want to have them pulling us down, weighing that coat, that heavy coat of grief, that blanket, like that heavy lead vest of sadness. So our animals are going to try to help us get through that. And one of the ways they do it is with a feeling of relief for just the briefest moment. Today, as an example, I'll share more next week. My daughter did let me know. She said, Mom, there was just a moment when I went outside and the heaviness was gone. Like just for a moment, it was okay. And that sense of relief is from them. That sense of relief is one of the ways that they get through, not because they'd love to send you a neon sign, but what they really want is for you to be happy again. And so they're going to find a way to give you that sense of relief. When you feel that sense of peace and relief, I would hold on to it. It's not going to last. You're going to cry again. You're going to be sad again. But I would hold on to it. Okay, thank you. I get it. I feel it. I know that that's you. Acknowledge it. And then more and more signs can get through. So let's see, what are some common things? So it's common to ask all the questions. It's common to feel left out when you're seeing everybody else. So all the comments you're seeing, I had my sign, I got a great sign. Oh, that's a cool sign. I didn't get a sign. So it's common. It's part of the human condition. So don't worry about it. So normal. It's absolutely normal. Overthinking it, looking for proof. That's the other thing. We want proof. So I'm not going to take some strange lady's word for it. I want proof that they are still here. I want proof. I want to see a paw print in the sand. I want to see them. I want to see their ghost. We want actual proof, and sometimes that's just overthinking it. Again, focus on the subtle signs. And then trying to interpret everything. You guys tell me if you've ever done this. Trying to interpret every little sign, like, oh, that leaf just floated down from that tree. Was that a sign? Oh, there's a rock that does that rock kind of look like the shape of a dog? Maybe that's a rock in the shape of a dog, and that's the one that's for me. So we try to interpret everything as a sign. And it's because we just want it so bad. We want the signs and the connection so bad. So we're going to try to find ways to simplify that in just a second. Expectation, that's the neon sign, the begging, the pleading, the neediness. Just like, I know this is an Abraham Hicks thing. If you're being chased, like, you're going to run away. When you're being chased, you run the other direction. And when we're being so needy, have you ever had that really like needy friend? That needy friend, and you look at your phone and you go, oh, I don't know if I can do that right now. I just don't know if I can do that right now. It's the same kind of thing. But our animal companions, of course, don't judge us from the other side. But our neediness can sometimes be getting in the way of our ability to perceive the signs that they start sending instantly. They're instantaneous the moment that they cross. And that's why the signs will sometimes come through as a way to validate what I said earlier about Sterling, and also the puppy dog the person who wanted to know if their dog died in pain. They will send signs before their actual transition. And what I mean by that is that before the moment that their body no longer has all the biological signs of life, they're already sending us signs. My husband did it. As you guys, when I shared the story back in November, my husband did it. He sent signs in advance of the biological end of life. And I can talk about it now, for the most part. I can talk about it now with a sense of deep gratitude. I mean, so grateful. I can talk about it with such a sense of, gratitude, that he was able to send signs to my daughter in advance of his crossing. And I still marvel at that, the signs that he sent to her. That were unmistakable, by the way. Neon signs, literal neon signs, giant tractor trailer, Stevens Transport, with angel wings, big red wings on the truck. You can't. It doesn't get more neon sign than that. Emotional overwhelm. I think I already mentioned that. Being wrapped in the blanket of grief, being weighed down by the lead vest of sadness. It just prevents us from seeing the signs that they are sending. But again, don't worry, because they don't stop. They don't tap their foot impatiently, going, well, I guess she's not paying attention, so I'm out of here. Does not work that way at all. They're your soul pet. They're your soul pet. They will not abandon you ever, and there's no such thing as time on the other side. I'm not 100% convinced of that. I think that time is different off of Earth. I think Earth and gravity and physicalness and the clocks that humans have created. You don't see any animals creating clocks. The clocks, the watches, the wearables, the computers, the cell phones. Can't remember where I was going with that. But anyhow, that there's no such thing as time on the other side. I think it's just different. I think time is fluid when we get to the other side. So they won't ever not be there for us. And then I wrote down the pink bus as a sign. And last week I mentioned one of the ways that you can start getting signs is by looking for something specific. And I talked about how I can pull a pink tractor trailer out of thin air with no problems whatsoever. I was with friends. I was visiting a friend in England. Gosh, this has got to be 5 years ago now, easily. Hi, Stacy, if you're catching this video. And we were driving down the road, and of course I'm in the back seat because I can't drive in England. And we were talking about the ability that I could pull out pink cars out of anywhere, and they were like, prove it. And I said, fine, what do you want, a pink limo? Doesn't the pink limo? It was actually a silver limo, but it had a big pink stripe down the side. Comes pulling around the corner. So somebody has sent me a picture of a pink bus that after I mentioned all the pink last week, they couldn't stop seeing pink. And that is our conscious mind. And I wrote it here at the end because of the thinking about overthinking, expectation, emotional overwhelm. One of the ways that you can start to receive signs is to be in a community like this, because the pink bus is an example. We have this communal consciousness. All of us who gather here every Monday night are connected, and we've got each other's backs. And even if you I can tell that if you were going to stay searching for signs, forcing them, right? So if somebody were to post that in the comment and say, I've been searching for 2 years and I haven't gotten my sign, somebody's going to say to you, it's okay, we're right here, we gotcha. Don't worry about the big sign, look for the little sign. So we have this now communal connection, and I had a better word for it, for consciousness, this collective consciousness. We have got a collective consciousness among this community that will start opening the doors for you, that will start opening the doors for signs and messages, because we are calling them in as a group. And this is proven. This is not something that I'm making up out of thin air. There's been meditation. There's been groups of people who have meditated, like thousands of people who have meditated. People who get together to raise the vibration in a city or a town, and it changes. That when you get people together in a group with one like mind, like we have, and you focus on something in particular, it happens. So that is one way, is to take advantage of our beautiful little community here. So let's see. Here's the truth. That's what I wrote. Why do you think I wrote that? Sometimes I'm not sure. It's automatic writing. I just write the thoughts that come into my mind. Here's the truth. A quiet little secret that came to me. I often talk about creating signs that you can co-create with your soul pet. You can create a sign by sitting down in a quiet space, open your heart, be full of love, call them into your mind, let all the other thoughts and distractions go away, and you can say with them, let's create a beautiful sign together. When I walk out the door, let's do butterflies, and everywhere I go today, let's see butterflies. And you can co-create those signs. But what came to me today was, you don't need to create, you can just notice. If you let yourself be aware, which is also sometimes what grief holds us back from. When you can just be aware, and every day be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what you're doing and where you're going, what you're up to, and just notice. And there's no efforting involved, you're allowing it to come into your experience. When we make it soft and gentle and easy like that, the signs will they'll come quickly. They'll just come quickly. There's also no need to fix anything. So nothing's broken. You're not doing anything wrong. There's no need to fix or change anything. We're just going to relax. And part of it, as I used in the example in my little short video earlier today, is that our animals are still with us. That's another one of the blocks, is that we say, that's nice to think of that they're still with us, but are they really still with us? When you think of the example of water, and you can boil water and it becomes steam, you can drink water, you can put it in the freezer and it becomes ice. Water is snow, water is the ocean, water is, it's a river, it's a lake, it's a pond, it comes from your sink, it's everywhere in different forms all the time. And we know that an ice cube is still water. And we don't even think twice about that. We know that steam is water. We know that rain is water. So keeping that in mind, that your beautiful animal companion, when they leave the physical body and they transition into the energetic body, they're still with us, just in a different form. They don't look the same, but they feel the same. They still love us the same. We still love them the same. So we just trust, the way that we would an ice cube in water, that they are just in a different form. And we have to learn. It's easy with water and an ice cube, but we have to learn how to recognize them now that they're in their different form. And that's really what we're doing. We are learning how to reconnect with them. We are learning what it feels like to connect with them. It's a new experience for us. If we were taught it from the time that we were little, if we were very little and the first goldfish we ever had passed away and died, instead of flushing it, our parents taught us how to remain connected with the soul of a beautiful fish and why we should love and honor that a fish. We wouldn't even be having this conversation, but we're not taught that. So we are relearning. We are going back to school to figure these things out. Some other ideas for learning this new way to feel. Curiosity, a really good tool. If you can use your curiosity instead of co-creating a sign or expecting a certain sign, be really curious and share it with your animal companion in your mind or talk out loud. I spent much of today talking to Ellie and Dory. Talk out loud or talk in your mind and say, oh, I can't wait. Surprise me. Surprise me. I'm so curious. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what it is, how you're going to connect with me today. And make it every day. You can get this every single day. So see what comes through when you use your curiosity and make it a game, make it fun. The other thing, I have one really fun one. I can't wait to share that came up from my little nephew. But the other thing is to declutter. Now, Sherry, I'm going back to you because I know you said you have a heck of a to-do list, and I know what that feels like. But this time, spring in particular, it's time to declutter. And part of moving for me has been to, once again, this will be many times, if any of you have done this multiple times, is to shed the things that no longer serve me, to declutter, to simplify my life space, to simplify the clutter, the junk, the things that we collect, the things that we feel that we need to save and hang on to, just to let clear space for yourself in your life. So in the space where you live, clear space in your mind, clear space in your heart. This one comes through as forgiveness. Is there someone in your experience, it could be anybody, it could be a boss, it could be a neighbor, it could be a family member. Is there someone who gets under your skin and you have unconscious conversations with them? You know what I'm talking about, right? Those conversations that you have that you're not anywhere near the person, but you're having an unconscious conversation with them. You're talking in a way about how you expect things are going to be, and so you're having that crazy, silly, ridiculous conversation that probably will never happen, but you're having it in your mind. If you can find a way to acknowledge that and let it go, let it go. Recognize that the expectation that you have is not real, that you're making it all up in your mind, and that whoever they are, however they make you feel, for whatever reason they get under your skin, you're not going to let them. And kind of declutter your heart in that way. Give a little bit more space in your heart to receive those signs by letting go of some of those things that we hang on to in our personal relationships. This was the one that came through. I thought this was really cool. This was so cool. What about making a password? I just love this idea. What about making a password? Abracadabra, it doesn't matter. You say to your pet, every day we're going to have a secret password. It's going to be abracadabra. I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to say abracadabra, and I know that you're going to send me a sign. And you say that when you hear the password, you know that I'm thinking of you. And if the password pops into my mind, I know that you're thinking of me. And we have this password together, whatever it may be. You make up something silly. But I just thought it was so cute that a young kid would, when their animal companion passes to the other side, would love to have a password to stay connected with them. So I had to share that one. So I kind of think that was fun, right, Sharon? It's a fun one. It's definitely a fun one. Okay, that's what I have for you guys tonight about how to simplify. Don't judge yourself too harshly. Give yourself some breathing room. Give yourself some grace. If you've been feeling sad, or if you feel like you haven't been able to get a sign, just relax a little bit. Relax a little bit. Let go of the need to get it. Play a fun game that's going to invite them into your experience, and then share it with us. I would love to know next week, at the beginning of next week's live stream, how many of you got a sign and what that sign might be, because it's fun, and that's a way for us also to stay in this mindset of like-hearted people, not just like-minded. Our hearts are linked, our minds are linked, our souls are linked. We are all connected. As Pat loves to say, all of our animal companions are hanging out on the other side at on Monday nights. They get together too. They all hang out and be here with us. So we have got not just a beautiful community of people, but a beautiful community of soul pets on the other side who gather every single Monday night and love to share and love to help us work through this, so that we know that they're still with us, and they'll know that we recognize them now, and it changes everything. It changes everything. It changes your perspective about life. It changes your perspective about death. Yeah, okay. Without waxing too philosophical, I'm going to check the questions one more time, please. How would you suggest to connect with a fish or teach a child to connect and honor such deceased fish? Okay, great question. How would you connect with a fish? Every single animal, regardless of the size of their brain, has a soul. So that's how I would connect, with love and with their soul. When you love something, I am telling you, a child who loves a stuffed animal as much as a living thing knows what that feels like. You can love a fish as much as you love any person or any dog or cat or anything. So do it with love and respect. Respect that fish as an individual. It is not just a fish that gets flushed down the toilet when its time has come. That fish is a living thing, and it is trusting you to take care of it, and it will love you right back. It will love you right back. And then how to honor the deceased fish? I would say the same way that we honor any deceased animal. When we bring an animal into our life, we are bringing a living thing into our life. It's not just a pet. It's not something we own. We cannot own any other living thing. But we can honor them as beautiful, wonderful souls. And when they leave, whatever your family would do for honoring an animal companion, for honoring an animal, whether it is to take it out and bury it, I'm trying to think of other ways that we might. I have, when I worked in the pet crematorium, in the pet funeral home, we did occasionally do fish. We did a lot of betta fish. But like little goldfish, we have done a little goldfish. We most certainly have. But you memorialize it in some way. So whatever you decide to do with that little fishy, I won't tell you what to do with the physical body of that little fish, but you can absolutely memorialize that little fish. Create a little poem for the fish. Remember that fish. Thank the fish for gratefully sharing your space. And that's what I would do. All right. Let's see if I missed anything else. Another soothing stream. Great. I'm glad you guys like that. Thank you so much for sharing that with me, for your support as I go through my own stuff, because that's what we do here. And of course, it's what I have chosen now as my vocation, is to be there for animals who are transitioning to the other side. But when it's family, it hits home. It really does. So I appreciate that. My friends, have a beautiful week. I will see you again next Monday. And until then, may animals light your way. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much. I love you. And you're not in this alone.